Jeeping Neat here, coming at you from the Cool Aero Garage. Right there, you can see, there we go, the Cool Aero Garage. Today I have my Toyota Land Cruiser. It's a 96 FZJ Toyota Land Cruiser, and it's in my garage, which is rare. Usually the Jeeps are in the garage here, but today what I want to do is show you how to read your fan clutch out, how to take it apart, and then drain the oil out of it, put some new oil in it, and put it back into the vehicle. And the reason for this is if your fan has stopped sucking a lot of air through, maybe you've noticed at idle your air conditioning is not as cold as it used to be. Low speeds, it's not as cold. If you're out four-wheeling, driving really below 10 miles an hour, it's not as cold. Maybe this is an issue for you, or your truck might start to run higher engine temperatures. If the fan's still turning, it's probably not going to totally overheat, but you will get higher engine temperatures. It is possible that it could overheat. So if you have any of these symptoms or any type of cooling symptom, this is an easy thing to check first. Listen for that fan to draw more air. If you start hearing a whoosh sound, then your fan is probably kicking in and you might have another issue. Anyway, let's get to the meat and potatoes here. Let's start figuring out what we're doing. Take in my vehicle a 96. See if this will focus here. Alright, well this is a 12mm wrench. Use a box end so you don't strip the nuts. And we are going to go ahead and take these nuts off here. I already broke them loose. So go ahead and take those off by hand. Start taking all these off. Don't lose them. Alright, fixing some Toyota. Gonna fix my Toyota, you know what I'm saying, bud? Usually it's my Jeep that's in here. One of my Jeeps. I always have a different Jeep. You know what I'm saying? Okie dokie, so we're gonna take this fan shroud off, kind of get it out of the way so we can pull the fan out without having to finagle it too much and possibly damage those radiator fins. Now the fan shroud is unhooked here, and the fan is unhooked. We could probably slide the fan shroud over a little bit here, now that it's unbolted. And it should give us enough wiggling room to get this fan out. And what you don't want to do is push it against the radiator fins. Almost got her. Alright. Got our fan shroud out here, our fan out here, and now we're going to go ahead and take these bolts out. Here's our fan right here. You need a 10mm socket. Let's see here. Use a deep one, especially for some reason there's one long bolt here, so just use a nice deep socket. Some of them are on pretty tight. If you can't break it, got that one, but if you can't break it, a little cheater bar will give you a little leverage, but they're not on that bad. So take those out, and that should remove, once you get these off, that should remove the fan from the clutch. By the way, if you're doing this modification, from everything I've read, you want to give your clutch housing about 24 hours to drain. So I'm going to take it all apart here today, and then we'll put it all back tomorrow with new fluid in it. And now we have our fan separated from our clutch. Go ahead. In our next step, we're going to take a number 3 Phillips head. Let's see if we can get a Phillips head screwdriver bit. We're going to take these screws out. If you have a drill gun that has the ratcheting effect where you can, make, where it hammers on it, I would recommend that, just so you don't strip the screws out. Get it. There you go. And then just do that to all of them, all the way around. There you go, we got them all out. Now I'm going to go get me a little pan to catch all the fluid in. Right on, so we got this sucker, all the screws out. We're going to try to split it apart now. So So you can see if you can pull it apart. I don't think you're going to be able to just pull it apart though. You might need to give it a couple taps. Look, it's broke a little free, you can see there. So now we're going to take our drip pan. There's supposedly some nice fluid in here. And I'm going to pop, come on baby, pop it out. There you can see, mine looks pretty nice inside. I saw one that was pretty dirty in here. You have this O-ring in here that you want to keep in there. And then you have these holes in here where all that oil is in there. It's silicone. So we're just going to go ahead and flip that around and let it drain out. I'm actually going to put this baking sheet in the oven. I'm just going to put it on warm, and I'm just going to let it let the oils seep out. Apparently my thing is too. There we go. We'll let the oil seep out of both sides, and then we'll come back. We'll measure how much came out, and we'll put that much in, or maybe even a little more. Okay, so we're gonna set our oven to, I'm gonna set it to the lowest thing I can set it to, which is 170. So I've been heating this up for almost an hour. I kind of have them tilted so you could see the silicone, so the silicone could run out. I'm gonna go ahead and just rotate this a little bit. If you look right in there, if you can put those opening holes in there towards the bottom, that will let more of the silicone run out. And I'm going to let this do a little bit more time in the oven, and then I'm just going to let it sit overnight in the pan in the garage. You know, always got to have your safety glasses when you're doing an instructional video on YouTube. Got to be safe, alright? I let it drain overnight. Everything I've read said you should do at least about 24 hours. I did several hours in the oven, and I did it in a few different positions. I don't know if that's enough, but basically I got this cup full of fluid here. I still have some fluid in the pan there. I'm trying to get it all to drain down to the bottom because I just kind of want to measure it. I don't know if you can see that. There's some more fluid in the pan there. And then I put the clutch pieces in different positions throughout the night just to try to get the more fluid to drain. You can see that bottom hole is where that leaked out there. I just kind of put it flat, so because I did have it at a tilt earlier, and now I put it flat and it seems to be getting more out. For this piece, there wasn't much fluid that came out of it. I also have taken a microfiber towel. Usually the microfiber towels don't produce any lint and I kind of wiped out the clutch pieces as well. If you do get any lint or anything in there, just try to get the pieces out. Maybe dust it out with a can of air or something. Alright, we'll fill her up now. Here's the oil, silicone oil we're going to be filling this up with. I got this at the local hobby shop. My understanding is you can mix different weights to get the weight that you want. So right on here, check it out. So I have 30 milliliters of 10,000 weight CST oil, silicone, and this stuff is super thick. It's like syrup. And then I have 30 milliliters of 30,000. I'm just going to squeeze them both in here. It's 60 milliliters. I actually finished measuring all of the fluid I got out of my clutch, and I got about 32 milliliters of fluid measured. I think we're doing pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and put 35 milliliters back into my fan clutch. I have my fluid in the cup here, and I have my 12 milliliter measuring syringe. So I'm just stirring those two that I mixed together, and you can see that stuff's really thick. And we're going to go ahead and put, I'm going to put 35 milliliters back into this side if I can fit it in there. My understanding is you don't want to put too much more than that because your fan might run all the time if you do. I have my syringe here. I'm just going to stick it into these holes here if I can. This stuff is way thicker than what came out, I can tell you that. Pulling it into the syringe was very difficult. Just 10 milliliters there. And we'll do this until we've got a full 35 in there. Now if you put your silicone on here, it should hold the O-ring in just enough so you can get this on right. If it falls out, just make sure to put it back in. Take a look at it, make sure it didn't fall out or get crushed in there. It should make a good seal. If you're going to use a power drill or a little impact, make sure you put it on a light setting so that you don't strip the screws out. And then when they get snug, tighten them by hand. So I'm going to go ahead and start on one side, and just go in opposite. You can hear it bottom out. Then I'm going to go, and that clicking sound is the drill. It's not stripping the screw. So, there you go. There you go, and then just do that again by hand. Tighten that all by hand and make sure they're good and tight, because you don't want any of that fluid to leak out of there. Check it out, guys. We got this sucker back together. We've got our clutch put back together. We've got our fan on the clutch. And one thing that's pretty cool is there's a lot more resistance on here. I can feel that oil is pretty thick in there, and it's definitely going to help out. With these Arizona temperatures, my air conditioning just wasn't cutting the mustard here. So we'll get this sucker back in there. To do so, you're just going to do the reverse order of what you did. You're going to put these 4 bolts, or these 4 things, back on the hub, and then you're going to put the nuts back on if you can. If you have it, I would recommend putting some Loctite on there. Not that these things vibrate so much, they spin nice and smooth, but just for extra insurance. Get this sucker back on there, and I hope your air conditioning or your cooling problem is fixed after this. I hope this helped you out. I'm no mechanic. I just like to show people I like to show people how to do stuff, because I've never done this before. I never even knew it could be done. I didn't know what oil in the clutch was or anything like that. I just read a lot, and I wanted to make sure that the next guy coming around, if he isn't very mechanically inclined or just hasn't done a lot, that he could tackle a problem like this. This was really easy. We'll throw it back on and see how it works.